Alright, so today we want to look at Bootstrap components. Let me try sharing my screen. Alright, so we want to look at Bootstrap components. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen also.
I can see your screen.
Okay, so we'll be looking at Bootstrap components, how we can use different components from Bootstrap to design a website. So one of the projects we'll be looking at today, we'll be building this website. So it's a logistics firm website that helps people to move in and move out of apartments. So we're going to build this entire website using Bootstrap. So we are going to recreate it using Bootstrap components, right from the header to the hero section to the features to the carousel and down to the footer. So we use Bootstrap components to build this project today. So before that, I'd like us to look at some components and how they work before we dive into building this project. This project will also be the exercise for today, in which you are going to create this project from your own end and you also upload it on Github. So I'll also be showing you how you can upload your website on Github and you can have it hosted on Github. So you can also have a public URL, like a website link you can share with others that this is what you did and they can view your website from there. Alright, so let's get started. So let's go to our Bootstrap website, which is getbootstrap.com. So let me drop it in our chat box. Open our chat. Okay, getbootstrap.com. So you can also view it if you want to. So when you visit bootstrap.com, you'll find that if you go to the docs section, docs page, and then you go to the place where you have components, so you see different components. We have a component for alerts, right? So if you want to add an alert component, like a notification on your website, if you want to add a button to your website, if you want to add a button component to your website, right? If you want to add, yesterday we looked at adding a card component, which we used to create a profile card component. So you can also add a carousel, and this carousel will also be used in today's project also. Right? So let me do some explanation using the buttons component. So first of all, let's go into our VS Code. Then I want to go to our project folder, click on open folder, then I'll select Web Design BootCamp and select folder. So we want to create a new folder called Basics. And as usual, we'll create our index.html file. Click on new file, then we'll say index.html. Okay, something happened. Let me rename this. Right click, then rename. I'll say index.html and I click enter. So what I want to do is I'll put in an exclamation mark, then I'll press enter also. Alright, so let's title this, let's call it Bootstrap components. Bootstrap components. Bootstrap components. So save that. Then don't forget, whenever you're working with Bootstrap, you also want to include the link that connects the Bootstrap external CSS to your code. And as usual, we are going to add it to the head section of our HTML document. So let's go to the home page of Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com. Then we look for the link. This is the link. So we'll copy it, go back to VS Code and paste it right there. Right. Paste it right there. So let's also proceed. So what we want to do now is, let's look at the button component and see how it works. So I'll go back to docs and I'll scroll down under the component section. I'll look for the buttons section. So let's try out something. So let me copy out this first code, this HTML code for a button, then I would put it in our body tag here and I'll paste, save, and right click to open with Lifesaver. So here we go. This is the button, but it doesn't have any styling. So if I hover on it, the cursor gives this and sign, making it known that it is clickable. So let's go back to Bootstrap and add some styling to it. Let's add some styling to it. So if you scroll down, we'll see different buttons and different styling, different colors. Alright, so let's say I want this first button, or basically, if you look at our first code here, you see that it has the button type. First we have the button code, which is the button tag, opening and closing tag. Then in between we have a type attribute that says this is a button. Alright, then we also have a class called btn. So this class is an already styled CSS file in Bootstrap. So it has a class of btn. So what we can do is we can add more classes to this our class attributes here. So we can go back to Bootstrap. Then let's say I want to copy this class that says btn primary. So I'll copy this class and I'll go back to VS Code and add that class again. That's another styling to it. Then I'll save and I'll view it in our Lifesaver. So now we have a different kind of button. Alright. So the styling has been applied when we added that new class to our button tag. So let's say we want to copy the whole code here. Let's copy this whole set of buttons here. So I'll just click on the clipboard, copy it, then we'll go to our VS Code, then we'll paste that code there so we can have our different buttons. Different buttons here. So save it and let's preview it. Let's preview it. So as you can see, we have different kinds of buttons. So this one is as the primary class. This one is the secondary class. This one is success, danger, warning, info, light, and dark. If you go to an individual code for each of the buttons, you see that the btn secondary is what adds the color to the secondary button. That's why we have a different color. Look at the secondary button. You see it has a different color compared to the primary. Then if we go to the second one, the third one, which is the success button, you see that it is this class that was added, this btn success, that gave it its own color. So the same thing for the other ones also, and that's how we are able to get different colors for each of the buttons. Then this last one doesn't have any background color. So it's just plain, which is we use the class of btn link for it. And don't forget, like I said, the styling is coming from Bootstrap because the styling has already been made in a pre-made CSS file for us. So that's why we don't have to write any custom CSS, and we have it styled for us already. So that is how we can add components from Bootstrap into our HTML code, which we also looked into yesterday. And so what I want us to do is I want us to dive into our project for today, and let's see how we can make it work. So this is what we are going to build today. So it's going to have this navbar section component. It's going to have an hero component. It's going to have a features section. Then we're going to have this carousel and the footer. Right. So what I want us to do is let's create a new folder. Let's create a new folder. I'm trying to make this very simplistic. So in case you want to do the project, it won't be to be clear. So let me create a new folder and I'll call it move it. Alright, so yeah, move it. So let's call it move it projects. Move it project. So inside the Movies Project folder, we're going to create our index.html file. Index.html file. Right, so as usual, put in your exclamation mark. Auto. Okay, sorry about that. Put in your exclamation mark. Then let's title this move it. Alright, so we'll save that, and as usual, don't forget, what are we to do to link the Bootstrap to our code? We'll go to Bootstrap website, go to the home page, then you want to copy this code so you can get the external CSS from Bootstrap. Put that there, and we can go into our body section and start adding components. So the first thing we are going to add is, let me close this tab. First thing we're going to add is so what we are going to add first is this navbar. So we are going to look at Bootstrap and find an example or a component that contains that particular navbar. So we'll go to our docs page, then we'll scroll down and we'll go into the components section. So we want to look for navbar. So this is a navbar section here. They have different navbar components. Alright. So look for a navbar that is similar to what we have in our project. So let's check. Is it this one? Let's see another. No, this one doesn't look like it, but the first one looks like what we want. So the first one has this. Okay, it has this search field. It also has this place for an icon or a text. So we can use this. So to use this, I'll come here and click on clipboard. Right? Then I'll go into our body tag and I'll just paste that code there. So I'll save it. Let's save it and view what we have. Alright, let's view what we have. Okay, I'll not open it in Lifesaver using that. So let's right click and open with Lifesaver. Okay, yep. So we have the navbar that's been added. Alright, so let's make it look like what we want to achieve in our project. You see that the navbar has this home, about, and services drop down. So we want to make it have the same thing Then we are also going to change this check button to say, no, we're going to change the search button to say check, and we are going to change the placeholder from postcode to search. So let's go step by step. So the first thing is we're going to change this text to about home, about, and services. So let's go to our code. We already have home, so let's change this link to about, then let's say services. All right. So go in here and let's look for the code. So we have home, so we want to change this. This is the second link, so change this from link to about. So we say about, then the next one should be services. So change this drop down to say services. So let's save that and have a look at what we have. Yep, so it's looking like what we want to achieve. Services, the drop down. So we have to remove this icon that says disabled. We don't need it. So sometimes when you copy stuff from Bootstrap, you just have to remove some things that you don't need. So let's look for that particular line of code. That's the link. So I'll just highlight it and I will delete it out. So, yep. So I'll delete that out. So let's save that and view what we have. Yep. So I think we have something similar now. So the next thing is, let's work on this search place to say, the button should say search, then the placeholder should also, the search button should say check, then the search input should say postcode. So we'll look for that in our code. So we want to change this button here to say check. Then we also want to look for the placeholder text. I want to change it from search to postcode. So save that and we have a look. Alright, there we go. So now I have something that looks alike. So what we want to do is we want to add this icon. It should say move it instead of navbar, and we also want to add this box icon. So how do we do that? Go back to our VS Code. Let's look for the move it text. So this is the text. We change the navbar and we'll type in move it. Move it. So that's it. Alright. And then we have to look for a way. It says move it now. So you have to look for a way to add this icon. So in Bootstrap you can also get icons, right? So to get your icons for your website, you come to this place that says icons. Then want to look for the, scroll down. Then want to search for a box icon. So we'll come in here and type in box. I'll click enter to search. Okay, so we have different boxes. Let's see one that looks like what we have in the example. Sorry. Box. Okay, this is it. So click on this icon here, and then we want to get the HTML code for it, for that icon. So what we can do is we can come in here and copy this, then go to our code and let's type in here, moving, enter, and paste this. So let's save and see what that looks like. Save and let's view. Alright, there we have it. It looks like what we had in the original folder, but it looks like our own box is slightly smaller. So let's give it a height of, let's say, let's give it a height of, let's say, 30, see height of 30 and a width of 30 also. So save that and let's have a look. Okay, that's close enough. It looks a little bit bigger, but still fine. So let's have a look at it in mobile mode. So if you look at it in mobile mode, you know that we are supposed to have this toggle icon according to the design. Let's look at our, if you put this in mobile mode, we have this icon, we have this. So once we click on it, it's supposed to show the menus that we added. It's supposed to show that when we click on it. But if you go to our own project that we are building, if you put it on mobile mode, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't bring out anything. So let's work on that. So the toggle functionality can be added using JavaScript. Right? Although we haven't looked into JavaScript, we can just come in to Bootstrap here and get the script tag from Bootstrap. So what we want to do is we want to copy it to get the Bootstrap script tag for the JavaScript. So we'll come in here and click on this second link. It's just beneath the first one, which we used for the CSS. So this one is for the JS. So we just copy it, then move into our code. So where we want to paste that is just before the end of our body tag. Just before the end of our body tag. We want to paste that there. And let me go to the, so we save that. Let's go back and view our website. That should work now. So let's view it in a mobile version. So if you click on that, yep, so it's working now. So once you click on it, it brings out those menus. Alright, so we have been able to replicate the nav bar so far, and let me know if you are still following, and let me know if you understand so far before we proceed. Let me know if you guys can still hear me and if I'm audible enough. Okay, so a thumbs up, that means I'm still loud and clear. Alright, so let's proceed then. Let's proceed. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add this hero section in our website where we have this image and we have this text that says move with joy, then this particular paragraph and these two buttons. So what we're going to do is, as usual, we'll go to our Bootstrap, then want to go to the components. So we'll go to docs, or rather, another way you can also look for components or sections you can add to your code is by going into your examples page. So we'll scroll down, then let's go to the heroes list. So we'll click on this. So look for examples that we can use and add to our code. So we just have to look for something similar to what we want to achieve. So what we have is something like this, right? Give an image, then two buttons to add. So let's look for that in the example. So this one looks close to what we want. Let's see if we have something. This also looks close, but the image is down. I want us to select something that we'll have to do little adjustment to. This one doesn't look like what we need. This one doesn't look like what we need. So I think the best so far is this one. So when we add it to our code, we are then just going to change this Bootstrap image and replace it with our own image. So to get this example, what you will do is you right click on it on this particular page. Then you want to click on inspect. You want to click on inspect. So what you want to do is you want to click on, see this icon here that has this arrow and box. You want to click on it so you can highlight on items. So I'll move it till I'm able to select the everything in that particular section. So once you see that it has been able to highlight everything in that section, like when you move your cursor, I'm able to pick everything in that particular section. You click on it, then it will show you that code here. So this is the code here that says div class px4. What I want to do now, I'll right click on it and I will say copy. I'll click on copy, then I'll also click on copy elements. Alright, let me do that again. Once you inspect your page, alright, click on this icon here to be able to select items, to highlight items. So when you see that you've been able to highlight that whole section, not just one part, not like this one is one part, you want to highlight that whole section, you click on it, then you move to your right hand side where you have the code. You right click on it, then look for copy and copy elements. Then we'll go back to your code and paste it. So what we want to do now, we want to press enter 2 times to give some spacing. Then we'll paste that code there. We'll save and we'll view. So let's view it. Yep, so we've been able to add it. So what we are going to do is we are going to adjust what we have. To look like what is in the sample. Alright. So what do we have in our sample site? So the H1 there, let's start with the image. So we have to add an image because if you look at our image, it's broken. So we'll go to our project folder. Then we want to okay, I've made a mistake. I'm supposed to move some items to this project. Okay. During the assignment, I'll also give you a folder that contains the items you will need for your project. So let me select all the images I'll need for this project. Let me move it to our current project folder. Let me copy this and move it to so I look for Web Design BootCamp, then day 6, and I want to paste this. Skip this file. Yep, then I've pasted the others. So I'll save that. I'll come back to my code, and if I should, oh, I made a mistake. I pasted it in the wrong folder. It should be in Move It projects rather. I have to paste it here, then this file. So you don't have to worry about this. When I'm giving you the exercise, I'll send the folder to the group so you can work on it and do your project inside it. So let's come back here. We should be able to see what we added. Yep. So here it is. So we want to add that image of the boss. Let's see if we have it here. So okay, this should be its moving van image. This is the image. So what we do is go back to our index.html file. Then we want to look for the particular code that holds the image. So here is the src attribute. So let's remove this particular line of code and link our image there. So /, or I could just use /, then images, or rather I'll go into my Move It project, then I'll select the image we want to use, which is the moving van.jpg. So we'll save it, then we have a view. Okay, this is what we have, but it's not looking like what we want it to be. So what we can do is let's see, the image is down, so let's move it downwards. Let's move this downwards. So I'll just move it from here and have it somewhere here. So I'll save that and let's view. Okay, it's very small. Let me add it here and save. Still very small. Let's see what we have. Oh, okay, I'm the one making a mistake. Let's move it back up, brother. Let's move it to the top. Move it to the top. Then let's increase the width of that particular image, because right here it looks so small. Let me save this so we can look at it again. It looks very small. So what we want to do is we want to increase the size to look like what we have here. So we can come in here and adjust the width and the height. So let me remove the width here and let's give it a height of, let's say 300. Then we'll save. Okay, it's bigger now, looking closer. Let's make it bigger. Let's say 500 pixels, or just type in 500. Type in 500. Then we'll save. Let's have a look. Yeah, looking more like it. So I think this works. We finally have our image added. So next thing is we want to change this text from centered hero to move with joy. So you can just copy the text from here. Instead of typing it manually, go back to your code and let's see the centered hero. Paste it there. Save. Let me also get the paragraph text there, which says welcome to our website. Which says welcome to our website. So let's copy that text there. We look for the paragraph text, then want to highlight everything there and remove that, then we'll paste our new line, our new paragraph. So I'll save that and let's have a look. Let's look at, okay, now it's exactly the same thing. So move with joy, welcome to our website, so it starts up, okay, same thing. So the next thing we want to check is we want to change the title of this button. We want to change the title of our project from primary button and secondary button to get a quote and contact us. So let's do that. Get a quote and contact us. So let's look for the two buttons in our project. So the first one, which is this primary button, we change it to get a quote. And the second one should say contact us. Say contact us. Then we'll save and we'll view. Alright, so here we go. So we have the same thing, get a quote and contact us. So let's move to the next section. So we are going to add this features section here to our project. So same thing as usual, go to our Bootstrap components and close this inspection tool, press back. Then under the examples page, let's look for something related to features. Okay, this is it, features. So open that page. So let's look for something that looks like what we want. So does this first one look like what we want? Yep, kind of. How about the second one? Not exactly. So the second one has the icons by the side, but the first one has the icons at the top. So we are definitely going to go with the first one. So as usual, you right click on it, click on your inspect, then you want to click on this icon here, this first icon here, so we can select that field. Let me open this more so I can have it in full width. Come back here and inspect. I highlight everything. I'll click on it, then come to my right hand side, right click, look for copy and copy elements. Go back to our code. We give 2 lines, then paste. Let's save and have a view. Okay, let's see. Yep. So we have something similar to our example. So what we have to do is we change this text. We change this text here from column with icons to move with us. Then we also move into the features section and change each of these heading one after the other. So let's start step by step. Let's start with the first one, which is to change this text. To change the text to why move with us. So we'll go into our code and look for that particular code that has the heading. So you can see here that heading is an H2. So we want to remove this text and paste it. So paste that there, then save and let's view. So I move it us, so it has changed. So the other heading here says professional. So let's finish with the text first before we come into the icons. So first one says professional. So we change this first one to save, instead of feature title, says professional. Then I'll look for the second one. What does the second one say? It says countrywide. It says countrywide. Let's go back to our code and paste that there. Then we want to look for the third one and copy personal touch, come here and paste it. So paste that, then save. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've been able to add these headings. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes left. So before that, I'll create a new link for us to join again. Okay, so let's proceed. Also, somebody can also remind me before the link ends, I might forget. So what we want to do is we want to come in here and change this text to look like what we have in our example. So I'll just copy out this and go to our code, and we just want to basically paste in those paragraphs. So the first one should be under professional. We'll go in and highlight all of that. On delete, then I'll paste in what we have. Look for the second part. Let's go to our sample. Look for the second paragraph, copy and paste also. Okay, so this, let's look for the second paragraph. So this should be the second paragraph. So I'll highlight everything there. Then we'll paste that, then do the same thing. Let's get the third paragraph, which is under personal touch. Copy that and we'll paste it in here. Save. Let's let's save it and see if the changes has been effected. Yeah, okay, so we've added the paragraphs. So the next thing we want to is the call to action. It says get a quote, but ours is saying call to action. So let's change the call to action to get a quote. Let's get a quote. So let's look for each of them. So the first one here says call to action, so change that to get a, is it in small letters? Okay, everything is in small letters. So get a quote. I'll copy that so I can just paste it in the rest of the other places. Paste it here also. Then look for the last one and also paste it. Yep, so we should have that. Let me save that so you can refresh. Save. Yeah, so we have that particular thing. Okay, so what else is missing? Okay, so if we look at the sample, or if you look at the sample, you see that there's a greater than like an arrow at the front, but in our own we don't have that, so we have to add it also. So what we can do is we can go to our index.html file. So in the folder I'm going to give you, you have all of these images that you can use, as you can see. So what we want to do is we want to change that code there to include that image. So what we can do is I can remove this code here and replace it with the image tag. Then let's get the image, and that should be the chevron right SVG. Let's see if that's correct. I'll save and view. Okay, here we have it, so it's correct. So we'll do the same thing for the other features. I'll just copy that line of code, come in here and remove this, then I'll paste, do it for the third one also, remove this, then paste, save, and let's view. Yep, so we have, so the next thing we want to do is we want to add these icons. I want to add these icons, the briefcase icon, the bus icon, and the art icon. So let's look for the icons. So I think this should be what is this particular SVG here should be what controls the.
So please, I can't see your screen. No.
Okay, please, is it the same thing for everyone?
No, I can see your screen.
I see your screen.
Okay, definitely, maybe it's from your network or something like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to remove this. Let's use, instead of the SVG that came from Bootstrap, let's use the
Hello,
image.
sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, sir. Please create another link. It's 8 minutes remaining.
Oh, okay, I will. Okay, let me just add this first, then I'm going to create a new link. So the first one there is we want to add the briefcase icon. So it's here, it's in this place, as you can see on the left hand side. So we want to link it, and we'll say dot slash briefcase svg. So we'll save and we'll view. So it has been added, but it's not looking like what we want. Alright, so let's leave that there. We'll come back to it. Let me create a new link and share on the group. Okay, click on new meeting, then start an instance meeting. So I'm going to end this one. Let me pause this video for now. Okay, so let's wait 1 more minute for everyone to fully join before we proceed. Okay, I think we are all in. Let me share my screen. So please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so let's proceed. Let's add the icons to the other features also. So the next one should be this. Okay, we'll go to the next section. So I'm going to remove this one, highlight it, then take it out. So when deleting code, you just have to be careful so you won't delete something else that would affect your code. So after deleting that, I want to type in img for the image tag, then I want to add a new image. So the next one should be a boss front. Then let's go to the third feature. So I want to change this svg also. So like this. Then I'm going to add the image tag and add the third icon, which should be a chat square heart. So save that and we'll view. Okay, so what we have here is not really looking like what we have in our sample. So we have to add some custom styling, some native CSS to give this background and make our icons bigger. So what we can do is, if you right click here and I click on inspect. So let's inspect the code. Let's see where the styling is coming from here. So if I click on this icon, you see that there's some kind of styling, right, that was done manually. Like, it's not really some Bootstrap styling. The reason is that if you look at this styling here that says feature.icon, right, it looks like it was written the same way we write our own styling. Styling from Bootstrap usually has this dash underscore in front of it. Right, so that means we are going to have to add this styling to it. So let's copy out this one, this particular styling. Copy out this styling. I'll close this. Then let's go back to our code. So if you look at each of the icon, they have that particular class which is feature icon. Look at it here, feature icon. So you want to
Please, can you make process audio?
okay. So we have to add that styling by ourselves. So what we want to do is, as usual, we're going to add the styling in our head section. Come in here, press enter, type in style. Then in between, we want to paste that there. So we are targeting the feature icon. Then click on Ctrl S to save. Is to target all of our icons. Let me go back to that place. Look at where we have our icon. There's our icon is inside a div, right? And the div has a class of feature icon. Same thing with the second feature. It has a class of feature icon, and same thing with the third one. So we are targeting that class and we are giving it some styling. The styling we are giving it is a width of 4rem. So what is 4rem? So we are saying the background, right, should have a width of 4rem, which is this. 4rem means the root elements, like 4 times the size of the root element. So most times our HTML document used to have like maybe a pixels of 16. So if you say 4 rem, that should be 4 times 16. So that is how the logic works. So the same thing, we are giving it a height. So if you are giving an element a width and height that is the same, it means we want to give it a square layout. It's just like saying length and breadth of a shape is 16 centimeter. Like the length is 16 centimeter and the height is also 16 centimeter. That means you are building a square, right? So we want the icon to have this square border around it. So it's going to also have a border radius. So border radius refers to the curved line. Let me open that so you can see and understand. So as you can see here, look at so it has added this background, and you know the background looks like a square. It has equal sides on each side, right? So this the border radius we added gave it this curve on the sides of the icon. So let's see. I think the only thing that remains is the height. Let's see if we can adjust the height of our items. So here it's saying 30. Let's say, let me move this first height and let's say like 50. Let's say 50 and save. Let's see what we have. It will increase in size. Still the same thing. Let's save. think I was targeting the wrong thing. That shouldn't be where we are checking. So let's look for that. Okay, why move with us? Then let's look for the code. Let's look for the image. Okay, so that's it. So let's in here, let's give it a height attribute. Let's say height of let's say 20. Let's save and view if it's going to change. Okay, so that worked. It increased a little. I think we can make it bigger. Let's make it 30. Make it 30. Of 30. So come back and view. Yeah, so now it's bigger, similar to what we have in the sample. So we're going to do the same thing for all the other images. We need to give it a height of 30. So come in here and paste. Nope, that shouldn't be it. Should be here. Okay, should be here. So when you're working, you just have to be careful when you're working on, so you don't write your code in the wrong place. Do that, and I'll paste here also. I'll save and can have a view. Yes, so they are all the same now. So we have similar thing. So the next thing we work on now is the other section, which is the carousel. So someone should tell us how we can add the carousel using the other procedures we've been using. How can we add the carousel to our website, to our project?
Is it admin from Bootstrap?
Okay. Alright, thank you. So we're going to go to Bootstrap. Then we can go to the component section. I think there's a component for carousel. So yeah, this is it, carousel. So click on carousel. So it opens that. Then we'll scroll down, look for the carousel that is similar to what we have in our sample. This looks close. Let's make sure. So the one we have here has this arrow by the sides, so you can click on it and slide in. It also has this little pagination, or what's the word for it? But once you click on them, they also move you to the next slide. So let's see if we can get something similar. So let's scroll down a bit. Scroll down and see if you have another sample. So yeah, this one looks like what we want. So what we can do is we just copy the code. Then let's come in here, add 2 lines, then paste it. Alright, paste it, then we'll save. Let's see if it will appear on our site. Okay, so it's not showing. So it's not showing because if you look at the code we copied, there's no image on it. It's just, let me show you what we have. It's just plain code. So it's the image that should appear, and it will give us the sliding. So what's the first image in the slide? Let's see. The first image is the family image, so let's get that. Let's add it to our code here. So in the first one, we edit this and type in /. So look for the family image, save that. Then same thing. What's the next one? The next one I think should be the dog image. Yeah, the dog image. So add the dog image here. the dog image, and we want to also add the couple image. That should be the last one. So we'll save that. Then let's have a view on our own project. So yeah, it's appearing there, and we have those slides. But if you notice something, there's something different on our sample. It has some padding at the edges. Alright, it has some padding at the edges, whereas our own is taking the full width of our screen. So what we can do is we can push this whole thing inside a div. So let's try that out. Push it inside a div. Let's create a div at the top. So I'll type in div, and I'll move this, the last tag, I'll move it down so that I'll move the last tag down. It should be beneath the carousel code. So, and I'll also give it a class of container. So this class of container, the styling is coming from Bootstrap, and to make our carousel more responsive, so I'll give it a class of container. So if we view it now, you see that yep, it's now giving us some margin. Alright, on it.
Your voice is breaking.
Okay, is my voice breaking for everyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, alright, thanks. Okay, so
You're gonna get there.
so we've been able to achieve the carousel. So it looks like what we have in our sample. So if we move, press next, then we have the same thing. Alright. So the next thing is, let's see from the sample, we want to add this footer section. That should be the last thing we are adding. So we'll go back to our Bootstrap components, and let's go to the examples page. Go to the examples page. Then let's look for the footer. We have headers here, and then we have footers here. So let's click on footers. Let's look for a sample that is close to what we want to achieve. So in the sample we have a date here, then we have 3 columns. So let's see, 3 columns. So yep, this one looks like what we want. Let me just scroll down if there's something else. Okay, this one here looks like what we need. So as usual, I'll right click on it, then I will inspect. I will inspect and click on this arrow icon and move the cursor here so I can highlight everything I need. Let me drag this more so I can see it in full width. Come back here, click on this icon, then highlight everything I need. I'll click on it, come back here, right click, click on copy, or over on copy and copy elements. So go back to our code, and we want to give 2 lines spacing again and paste in our code. So save that, and we are going to have a view of what we have. Yep, that's it. Yeah, so it looks more like what's in the project. Okay, the only thing is that just like the issue we had with the carousel, is not having this margin at the ending there. So we are going to put it in a div again and give it a class of container. So as usual, I'll go to the top, here, then look for our footer code. Just above it, I'll create a div. Give it a class of container. copying the closing, copy out the closing tag, scroll down and put it just beneath the closing tag of the footer. So save it, then let's view it. So yeah, that's it. So we have our footer section, and it looks like exactly what we had there. So that's basically it. We've been able to replicate that using Bootstrap components, and you see how very easy and fast it was. If we were to code this using custom CSS, you know how long it would have taken us. We would not even be able to finish it within 2 hours. But Bootstrap has made it faster and easier for us. So you can basically design most kind of websites using Bootstrap. You can build for yourself, build for companies using Bootstrap. So it makes your web design faster and easier. Alright, so far, let me know if before moving to other aspects, let me know if you understand what has been done so far. And before we proceed, or let's just proceed because of time, then at the ending we'll just take all the questions that we need. So let me know if that's fine by everyone before we proceed. Is that okay? Can unmute your mic or just type or give a thumbs up.
That's fine.
Okay. Alright, so let's proceed. So some of the things you are seeing here might be looking strange to you. Probably if you go to the footer section here. Alright, we go to the footer section here. You see that we have these classes MB2, M3. So all of these are classes that have been predefined by Bootstrap, as we said before. Then we have this MB2 and stuff like that. So the MB2 and this, it means margin bottom. Then when you see I think it should be like an empty, right? But most of this, like we said before, have been predefined using Bootstrap. So there's a CSS file on Bootstrap that contains each of the styling for these classes, and that's why you put it in your code. It gives you the styling that you need. Right. So the next thing we want to look at now is we want to push to GitHub. Alright, so how can we move our project to GitHub? So what you will do is you go to github.com. So if you are a new person, you have to create an account. But I already have an account on GitHub, that's why it's just taking me to my own dashboard. But if you just visit github.com for the first time, github.com, paste it here. You have to create an account then before you move your project in there. So what we want to do is we want to host our website so that we can have a public URL that we can share with friends and they can view what we have done. And so what we do is after you've logged in and you are showing your dashboard, like you are seeing your dashboard like this, you want to click on new. Look at this icon I clicked there which says new. Let me go back and click on it so you see what I did. You can click on this green icon here that says new. Alright. And then you want to give your repository, right? You want to give it a name. You want to give it a name of your project. So let's say move it. Alright. Then you want to give a description. Then you can say a moving logistics company. logistics company website. So you want to leave this on public. Then you want to also select add a readme file. That's also important. Make sure that box is checked. So next thing you want to do is you want to click on create a repository. Create a repository. Alright. Then it will bring you to this page. And what we can do here is we want to upload our files, right, the file of our project into this place, onto our repository. Alright. So to do that, you click on this icon that says add a file or add file. We'll click on it. Then we'll select upload files. So bring us to this page, and what we want to do is we want to click on choose your files. Then you go into your project folder, projects, the website you're building. So mine is inside this PC, then inside here. Then I want to go into Web Design BootCamp. Then I want to look for the project, which is Move It project. So I'll open it. So take note, what you're uploading is not the folder, but you're uploading the files that are inside that folder. You have to upload the files themselves inside the folder, not the folder itself. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll click on Ctrl A to select all the files. Ctrl A to select all the files, then I click on open. So it's going to, all of those files will upload. All of those files we use for our project will upload. Okay, so there we have it. And another thing you have to take note of is that your home page has to be saved as index.html. If you save it as home.html, it will not work. Alright, your home page has to be saved as index.html. So after uploading it, you want to come here and click on commit changes. Click on commit changes. Click on commit changes. And there we have it. We've uploaded our project files onto GitHub. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a link for it that we can share to others. So let's say sorry please, let's say Rafa, beg your periwinkle too loud. The enter. So let's say to create that link, we'll go to our GitHub. Alright, go to our GitHub and we want to go into the settings page. Then click on settings. Click on settings, and then we want to look for this option that says pages. To click on this option that says pages, then we'll look for this place under your branch section. You want to click on this drop down of none, and you want to select the main. Alright, when you come here, you want to select the main. Then to bring out these options here, what you want to do is you want to click on save. Alright, so you click on save. So when you save it, you want to give some like few seconds or maybe some minutes for it to process. So it's going to stay for some time, and it's going to bring up a link that you can actually use and share in your browser. So what you can do is after you've saved that, you just want to hold on a little bit, then you want to be refreshing this page. So let me refresh to see if the link is ready. Okay, the link is not yet ready. So still hold on a minute. Let's stay hold on for like about a minute more. Okay, so refresh these again. Yep, here we have it. So we have a link here. It says your site is live at https://emailbanke.github.io//move it. So what I can do is I can just click on here and say visit site, and there you have it. This is still loading. Okay, our image is not showing. That's something you have to look at, but there we have it. We have our website with all of the information we added except from the image. So let's see how we can fix that, or maybe it's still processing. Let's go back to our files and let's make sure that our images are there. Let's go back to our repository. So let's see, we have our images here. So we have all of our images here, but why is it not showing yet? Okay. Let me reload this and press Ctrl F5. Okay, still having the same issue. Our image there is not showing. So let me look at our code again. Let me see if there's something from somewhere preventing it to not showing. So that particular image is called a moving van JPG. If we go back to our GitHub, let's see if that is here. It's here, but I don't know why it's not showing. Probably from GitHub, but it should show because that's how I got this sample here. But I think when you are doing it also, it's supposed to show. I don't know why it isn't showing. I don't know why it isn't showing. Let me right click on this and inspect if there's anything taking that space. Okay, there's something here. Move it project, move it, moving fan. Okay, let me see if I go into the code. Maybe I can edit it from here. Let me see. Index.html. Let me start from VS Code. Let me make some adjustments. If it still doesn't work, we might just have to leave it that way for now. But I believe when you upload it should show, because I've done it before and it showed. So I don't know if the issue is from GitHub there. Let me try something else. Let's say these and moving fan. Let me use this link this way. Control save. Copy this out. So let's see if it's still going to show. Okay, still showing. Let's go to our GitHub. Let me see if I can. I did the code from right here. Let me look for that. Where we have that image. welcome to our website to animation to. Okay, so let me just change it from here and paste the one I used there. I didn't click on edit file. Okay, scroll down again and look for that. Then I'll save this. Save this. Alright, so let's reload. Let's see if it shows now. Still having the same thing. Okay, maybe that's something I can debug on my own later on. But when you're doing it, it should also show. But if it doesn't show, let me also know, because I've tried it before, and that's how we were able to get this sample here. So that's basically it on how you can move your website and upload it to GitHub repository. So I would drop the link. I'll drop the link and I'll drop it on the group also. But in case when you view it, the image doesn't still show, you can just rewatch the YouTube video and see the image size from the video, and now you can also position yours. And so I'm just going to drop this on our group chat, and we'll save this, paste this here and send. Okay, so that's basically it on how you can create your website using Bootstrap, and how you can also upload your website to the GitHub repository. And if you notice, if I resize our website, is also responsive. So even if you view it on mobile, it doesn't like move out of your screen. It's still responsive. Alright. So that's it, guys. That is how you can host your website on GitHub and also have a public URL. So let me know if you have any questions, and if there's anywhere you need clarification on. So let's get questions. Any question?
From what I've seen, the first image there on mobile view is not responsive. It's still white.
Which of the image?
On mobile view, that is the
This
first image.
this
The
first
banner,
this
yes.
first one.
Yes.
I think it is. Let me read.
Immediately after the top nav.
Immediately after the
Top nav.
it is. I've just resized it. Look at it here. That is on the one that's from the sample, because that one isn't showing. So from this thing, it's actually responsive, and this was the one I built on my own using Bootstrap also. So it's actually responsive. So if you check it on mobile, you put it on mobile view, you see that it's okay. The image is okay. That's how it is done actually. Some of part of the image is going out of the distance, so that's also part of the design. But if you look at our other components, and that's what we aim to achieve. So we didn't want to like have everything in, else it will have it become smaller. So that's also part of the design. So if you scroll down and we look at these other ones, you see that they are still centered, aligned, and also like the carousel, right?
Yes.
So that's how it works. All right. Any other question? Does any other person have a question? Okay, so I think there's no other question. That means, okay, my question, how can I download from the web page? I don't understand what you mean by download from the web page. If you want to download anything from the web page, okay. I think you wanted to respond.
I actually want to explain what I meant.
Okay.
I've tried downloading from the web page. I tried using it, but it's not showing on my phone screen. It's only showing on the laptop screen. Like the pictures are not showing on my phone screen. If I send it to my phone.
Okay, which of the pictures? Is it the first image?
Like yesterday's assignment now. The picture, yes, the first image.
Okay, the first image from this project.
It's not this project. Yesterday, let's say for example, this project. The picture I attached to it is not showing on my phone screen. It's only showing on the system
On laptop.
after downloading.
Okay.
Yeah, it's showing on laptop, but it's not showing on my phone screen.
Okay, that's something we'll have to look into. Maybe you just send me a DM, then maybe there's something from when you linked it. So you can just send me a DM, then we'll look at it together.
Okay.
Yeah. So look at it together from
Okay.
there. Okay.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Please, I have an issue in regards to the image. I mean, that image that has a truck and maybe a worker close to it, still around this mobile view section. I don't know if we can try something to make the image show entirely because it seems there's a way to do that.
Okay.
Please, can you scroll down to that section, please?
Okay, that is on the code or the page.
The page, mobile view, not the full desktop view.
Okay. All right.
Mobile view, please.
Okay. All right. This is the mobile view.
Yeah, this please. Please, is there, maybe we should try this. For the image,
Okay.
we give it a particular class name, width and height, 100%. Then enclose it with a div. Then we can now play around with that div. Maybe give it a particular width that would fit in to this particular mobile view and see if the whole image will work out. It's something I've tried actually. The whole image should work out, like show entirely, but
Okay. Well, let's try it.
so I don't know.
Let's try that out.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's create these. Then we'll move this image in here. Then okay. So let me see if we won't give it a class of container. Let's see giving it a class of container. Let's save that. Let's see what we have. Okay, then if we should put this in, okay, it's still going outside.
See what I mean? The image itself should have width and height of 100%.
Okay, the image itself should have width of 100%.
Yes, and height 100%.
Okay, so let's try that width of
Then
100%.
yes, height 100%.
Then the height should be 100%.
Then the div used to enclose it, you can now give it a width of maybe 300 pixels. Let's start with that. Then you can use that to adjust it.
Okay, so say width of 300 pixels. So say width of 300
300
pixels.
pixels. Yes. Maybe height auto, anything like that. Or
Pixels. Then a height of auto.
yeah.
Equal to auto. Okay, so let's try that and let's view. Okay, yep, that works. That's nice. Yep, okay, that works. Alright, thank you.
All right, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, so any other question or any other contribution? Do you have any other question? Okay. Alright, I think we all get it then. So what we can do is the exercise for today is to recreate this project, alright, then host it on GitHub, post it and tag me and also use the relevant hashtags. Right, so that's the exercise for today. So we're going to see tomorrow and we're going to look at our final project using Bootstrap, and we're going to conclude from there on. So thank you all for being part of today's session, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, good night.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir.